My name is Whiteheart. I've been involved with Circles of Empowerment since 2006 or 2005, maybe. I first moved up to the Central Coast just a year before, and hearing about long dance was one of the first stories that I heard from my first friend in Cambria. And I heard about this wonderful all night ceremony, the dancing and the prayers, and how effective such prayers are in the context of long dance. So I was very intrigued. I have Native American heritage myself, and I hadn't really had an opportunity to look, when you're raised in a city and you don't have a reservation or any kinds of teachers around you. I was raised in New York City. There was no information for me. So when I met Huah, it was just such a joy to connect with this generous spirit and who could really teach me about my own lineage. And it dovetailed beautifully with many of my other studies. At the first time that we met, I was just completing a doctorate in visual studies. And I did, in fact, end up using part of the doctorate to talk about an indigenous aspect of virtual worlds and cyberspace, which I still think is an incredibly important topic. And certainly my interactions with Huah and this community informed that. And so I became more involved with the organization over time, and actually I was a vice president for a period of time. We forged a new way of doing business. It was a transition from an older model, just as we're transitioning again to a newer model. It's wonderful to see the handoff of generations as the organization grows and as we think about what kind of a legacy are we going to leave. So obviously this video project is part of that legacy. So that's a little bit about me. So part of what is so nurturing and nourishing about this community are the bonds of sisterhood. I actually went to an all-girls school for 12 years, and then I went to an all-women's college for 4 years. And at the time, I didn't think anything about all that single-sex education. But as I grew up and ventured out into the world, I discovered, that was actually a really unusual experience. And I am quite assertive and empowered in my language, and sometimes that's a little difficult for some parts of the culture. But in Circles of Empowerment, it was absolutely a beautiful fit. That's exactly the kind of forthright, clear-spoken, heart-centered, woman-centered organization, and that means a great deal to me. So nurturing those bonds as we get to do at Long Dance, when we get to spend a lot of time together and really see each other in a very intimate and sometimes quite raw kind of way. People, there's tears and laughter. There's every aspect of how a woman expresses herself is on display, or maybe display is the wrong word, but is in full expression within the long dance, which the long dance itself is, one long ceremony. It actually has like many little ceremonies nested within it. And then there's the whole fabric around that one all-night ceremony. Those two are kinds of ceremonies. So there's just this extremely rich tapestry of sacredness that is evolving within this particular vessel. And that's a real rarity, to find something that is so cogent, organic, fluid. It fits beautifully together, and the people are so special. Now we have quite a stronger brother community. That had been one of my pet projects over the years, and I'm always so delighted to see just the incredible men who have come and shown up in our community. I have a lovely husband. I know what a good man can be like, and these men who have joined us, and also the grandfathers who have joined us, are really special. So we've got incredible elders, both grandmothers and grandfathers, just fabulous teachings that are available. And, you know, in an Indigenous community, teaching is often done by example rather than outright, this is how you do something. You just watch someone and you observe them over time, and you can say, oh, that's what I want to be when I grow up. So there have been older women in our community, and I watched how they've aged, many of them just so graciously, and it has really affected me deeply in the choices that I make about how do I want to mature in my life. So I've been doing long dance for 13 years. It would have been 15, but I had to miss twice. And it's a great pleasure for me to be here this year because I nearly didn't make it at all because I almost died earlier this year. So it's great to be able to be in this blessed, beloved community and feel so much support. And the sacredness and the power of what is created here is really palpable. And the more you know about these topics in general, like I have been teaching metaphysics for the last 2.5 years. And so I really have a framework and a model within which to place this event. And even though I'm great at speaking and sometimes they will call me quite eloquent, I am at a lack of words really for expressing the visceral body sense of how meaningful this event is. It just has to be experienced to be understood. It's kind of like sex. You know, you can understand the mechanics in theory all you want, but until you've actually done it, you won't know, you know, what that's all about. And long dance is the same way.
Hello, I'm Kinor Anwa with Circles of Empowerment. Thank you for watching our video. We've got a lot more content coming up, so be sure to subscribe. Also visit our website for events and other activities coming up, circlesofempowerment.org. May our paths be blessed. Aho.